The more products there are, the poorer the workers become. What are the great minds thinking about? Let us explore Marx's powerful ideas. You go to work at the company every day. If the paycheck you get equals the value you create, then where does the employer's profit come from? Marx said profit can only come from exploitation. Back in the days of bartering, you brought a horse, and he brought a donkey. Each got what they needed. Nothing was gained or lost. But in the age of money exchange, money was traded for the horse. Then the horse was sold again, and money bought the donkey. Now, someone ended up with more money, while someone else had less. The more times money changes hands, the bigger the differences in wealth. Marx started with this very observation and developed his famous theory of surplus value. Let's say a car factory hires workers who, over 1 year, assemble 10 cars worth $100,000 each. That means the workers created $1 million in value. According to Marx, capitalists want to take most of that profit, and there are only two ways to do it. 1, pay workers less than $1 million. 2, make them build more than 10 cars. The extra value produced becomes surplus profit for the capitalist. So slacking off at work is a way to resist the boss from stealing that surplus. But there's a serious problem with this theory. If profit comes from exploiting workers for surplus, then what happens? When machines replace human labor in factories, now capitalists no longer have people to exploit. So are their profits shrinking? Or are they actually growing? Faced with this tough question, Marx elevated his surplus value theory from an economic model to a theory of history. Marx made a strange admission. Automation replacing human labor would actually reduce profits because it cuts into the profit margin. Technology upgrades are just how companies compete, and competition itself leads to internal breakdown. In this race, internal contradictions grow. If the first capitalist earns $500,000, the second only needs $400,000. The third only needs $200,000. As long as there is still profit to be made, capitalists will continue to invest. But competition keeps intensifying, and so the profit rate keeps dropping. Even more powerful is what happens on the consumer side. A worker builds a car worth $1 million, but his wages will always be far less than $1 million. What does that mean? It means every day workers are making things they cannot afford. More goods are being made, but the people making them can't buy them. And over time, the workers' buying power keeps declining, which means goods cannot be sold. Capitalism is destroyed by its own hunger for profit. That was Marx's eerie prediction. Just like today, competition keeps tightening. Even when homes and products drop in price, the poor still cannot afford them. Society becomes richer in material goods, but workers get poorer. The theory of surplus value now matches our reality. They begin to overlap perfectly. But Marx's theory is not just about history. It will become a political weapon over time. In his view, as company profits shrink, as production increases, and as workers become poorer, the working class will be trapped. They will have no choice but to unite. Through strikes, through violent revolution, they will bring down capitalists through radical competition. Society will shift from capitalism to one ruled by the working class. The world will enter a new era. That was the brilliance of Marx's thinking. You can see economics within it. The creation and exchange of surplus value. You can also see the rise and fall of historical capitalism. You can see politics in the unity and discipline of the working class. His thoughts are economic. They are historical. They are political. They are about today and about tomorrow. But I believe that the more all-encompassing a theory is, the more likely it loses precision. On the economic side, Marx will face logical challenges. In his view, producing a car has value in the materials used and the labor time put in by the workers, but deciding to make a car for the market. And more than that, deciding what kind of car to produce for the market. Does that decision not have value in itself? Producing a pair of jeans, its value lies in the denim and the labor time of the worker. But the first person to discover that denim could be made into pants, this innovation, how should that value be calculated? The risk that jeans may or may not sell in the market. How should we evaluate that value? Discovery and risk-taking in innovation. They have no raw materials and no labor time. So how do we measure their value? On the historical side, Marx still cannot give a clear answer. If capitalism is doomed to fail because of its own internal flaws, at what point exactly does it collapse? How low must the profit margin go? In reality, history often shows us that the decline of one industry is followed by the rise of another. And politically, many of these ideas await real-world practice. When the workers of the world unite, they overthrew the capitalists, and the struggle between capitalists and workers seemed to end there. But could that give rise to a new kind of struggle? The dream of proletarian rule, when put into practice, raises the question, which workers get to hold that power? And once they hold it, are they still workers? Is a dictatorship of workers still a dictatorship? Could it become a dictatorship over the workers themselves? The brilliance of Marx's theory is that despite its challenges, can never be truly disproven. Take this question, for example. Why has capitalism not collapsed yet? Perhaps competition has not intensified enough. Maybe profit margins are still too high. Perhaps we have not reached total burnout yet. Maybe this time the clock really has run out. What do you think?